Hello everyone, and welcome to this bonus episode of Pulp Crazy. I'm your host, Jason Aiken. In this episode I'm going to be discussing Tarzan and the Gods of Opar, Part 1. Tarzan and the Gods of Opar is being serialized over the next 3 months in Dark Horse Presents, beginning this week with Dark Horse Presents number 8. The comic has 2 covers, one featuring Fred Van Lente's Weird Detective, and the other features Tarzan, with a cover by Mike Grell. This isn't the first time Mike Grell has worked on Tarzan. He illustrated and wrote the Tarzan newspaper strip from 1981 to 1983. He also wrote and illustrated a miniseries for Dark Horse titled Tarzan, the Savage Heart, which came out in 1999. I'm a big fan of Mike Grell from his comic book work, namely Warlord from DC Comics, which is very much in the Edgar Rice Burroughs mold. It's very similar to Pellucidar, but with more of a sword and sorcery theme. I also like his Star Slayer, Green Arrow, and John Sable Freelance. I haven't read his Tarzan work, but after reading these 8 pages in Dark Horse Presents number 8, that's definitely going to change. I'm going to pick up the Savage Heart issues or trade paperback as a top priority, as well as any of his collected newspaper strips, if those exist out there. I was that impressed with Part 1 of Tarzan and the Gods of Opar. Tarzan and the Gods of Opar is a period piece that looks to take place in the 1920s. The story opens in Africa, on Lake Victoria. I had to look up where Lake Victoria actually was, and according to Google Maps, it's located for the most part in present-day Tanzania. I'd say more than half of the lakes in Tanzania. There's also a good portion of it in present-day Uganda, and a small piece in Kenya. But the comic itself, it opens up aboard a passenger ship on Lake Victoria, with 2 hunters scoping out a herd of elephants via binoculars from the deck of the ship. I'm guessing these 2 men will be the primary antagonists of this story. One is a blonde man who appears to be in charge. His name is Sir Richard Kincaid. His red-haired partner is only referred to as Wilson. Accompanying them is Sir Richard's biographer and companion, Miss Elizabeth Parker. Grell definitely has a knowledge of African history, as he references the hunter W.B.M. Bell on the opening page of the story, and references how many elephants he's killed. Sir Richard responds to this by saying he just wants to kill one big elephant, and he calls this big elephant Bomani. After this, Tarzan appears. He's dressed in a fancy suit. He overhears the conversation and tells the hunters that he guarantees them that by tomorrow there won't be an elephant within 50 miles. Miss Parker recognizes Tarzan and refers to him as Lord Greystoke. She and Tarzan talk a bit before the scene shifts to the next day. Sir Richard and Wilson go up in their hot air balloon to attempt to spot Bomani and his herd from above. The balloon is red and has a yellow sun emblazoned on it. This decoration will no doubt come into play in future installments. There's a storm that next day, but Sir Richard and Wilson go up in their balloon anyway, which is secured to the ship via a rope. They go up but they can't see anything, and they give the signal to the ship to bring them back down. But the metal tie-on rips right off their basket, and the wind blows them toward Opar. Now, Opar is a lost city, which plays an important role in the original Edgar Rice Burroughs Tarzan tales, and it's become a key element of the Tarzan mythos. Burroughs implied that it was a lost colony of Atlantis, and Philip Jose Farmer did some serious world building to further expand on this idea in his own Ancient Opar books. Farmer's Ancient Opar series is now largely referred to as the Kokarsa series. The best way I could describe the Kokarsa series is a more realistic Hyborian age, but set in Tarzan's ancient Africa. The scene changes back to Tarzan, who is now off the boat, and Tarzan has, and I quote, "shed the thin veneer of civilization, along with his Savile Row suit," unquote. Yep, that's an actual passage from this comic, and I'm sure Tarzan fans like Chuck Loredans will like how Grell incorporated that classic line into the comic. Tarzan's now in his jungle garb, riding on the back of the big elephant, Bomani. He sees the balloon blowing toward Opar, and goes to investigate, as he thinks that even the lives of fools have value. Sir Richard and Wilson land the balloon in Opar, but the half-men of Opar come out to ferociously greet them. Sir Richard and Wilson have their firearms with them, though, and they shoot at least 2 of the half-men. Wilson shoots one with his rifle, and Sir Richard shoots one with what appears to be the flare gun. It looks like this stops the others from attacking them. And as a matter of fact, it looks like some of them are even prostrating themselves in front of the 2. They may be submitting due to the displayed firepower, but I also think the sun displayed on their balloon could be a cause as well, as residents of Opar worship the flaming god. The comic ends with a black-haired woman running away from Opar, but she's attacked by 2 panthers. Luckily, Tarzan is there to intervene. It's likely this black-haired woman is La, the ruler of Opar. Opar is a big part of the Tarzan mythos, as is its ruler La. Tarzan first visited Opar in The Return of Tarzan, the second book of the series. It's here where he meets La for the first time. So I guess it's safe to say this story takes place sometime after the return of Tarzan, since Tarzan's aware of what Opar is. With the next 2 installments, we might get more information to help narrow it down further. If the title Gods of Opar sounds familiar, you're not mistaken. Subterranean Press published an omnibus collection of Philip Jose Farmer's Ancient Opar books. Haydon of Ancient Opar and Flight to Opar, as well as the conclusion to the Ancient Opar trilogy, The Song of Kwasin, which was co-authored by Farmer and Christopher Paul Carey. Farmer created a whole pantheon of gods for his Ancient Africa series, while in the Burroughs books, Opar had only one god, the Flaming God, which is the sun. In Farmer's Ancient Opar books, he gave the name of Resu to the Flaming God. It appears the gods being referred to in this series, Tarzan and the Gods of Opar, are Sir Richard and Wilson. I would guess that they depose La and claim themselves to be emissaries of the Flaming God, and basically take over Opar in an effort to acquire its gold. I'm really looking forward to the installment of this next month. This is one of the rare occasions where I actually bought both the digital and physical copies of the comic. I just couldn't wait to go to the comic shop. I had to buy it off Dark Horse's website early this morning. I'll be sure to put a link to the Dark Horse website, as well as a comic shop locator, in the show notes, in case you want to go out and pick up Dark Horse Presents number 8 yourself. I'm 50-50 on whether or not Dark Horse is going to collect these 3 installments as a single-issue one-shot down the road. They collected the Once and Future Tarzan by Al Gordon and Thomas Yates from a few years ago, The Once and Future Tarzan was serialized in Dark Horse Presents 2, and it got collected afterward as a one-shot. For Tarzan and the Gods of Opar, they have the cover art already, as I imagine they could just use the Tarzan variant cover for Dark Horse Presents number 8 for it. So we'll have to wait and see on that. The nice thing is, even if they don't collect it, you can easily get these in digital format off the Dark Horse website. Well, that's it for this bonus issue of Pulp Crazy. Pulp Crazy is located at pulpcrazy.com. I'm at Pulp Crazy on Twitter, and facebook.com/pulpcrazy. My YouTube channel is located at youtube.com/pulpcast. You can also email me at pulpcrazy@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.